So showing you this picture here, my question first would be, do you know what this is? Um, just leafing through this magazine, I saw this picture, and these curves here, they show a line. So these are not waves. These are not white, silvery lines that belong to an animal, and you wouldn't guess. I mean, if you just maybe zoom in on certain details, you would say this could be a horse, because it is a horse. And why the long face? This is the title of this interesting article in one of the magazines that I like the most. I could really number them maybe on my 10 fingers, using these 10 fingers. First, maybe not the first, but among these would certainly be this magazine here, 1843. You see it, yeah, 1843. This would be certainly one of the magazines that I would recommend. And then, as I've said in the announcement, this is certainly a magazine which is a great fountain for for copywriters and those who like to write, those who like to produce content, and certainly visually and textually uh, alike arousing a lot of interest. It certainly is something that you should keep by your side, on your bedside table, or as a coffee table book also. So certainly something that is worth having. And today I'm going to read out. I didn't even know I had this in my collection, and this one magazine, it says April May 2019, so it's exactly 5 years old. So 5 years old, pre-pandemic newspaper. And alongside it I've got another one, the same one, and this one is from a year before that, 2018. And as you can see, it's quite different. So if we look at these both, on the left and on the right, you see both the logo of this newspaper, which consists of a number, a year. This is a year, 1843. This is the year when the Economist actually was first published. And underneath this logo, you've got a, as the editor says or termed it, this is the tagline. You've got stories of an extraordinary world here in the new magazine from 2019. And from the year before, you've got not so great copy. This could also be seen as a copy, of course, because copy is a text which is meant to astound, meant to draw a reaction and make a reaction. And it also is a text that propels you either to buy something, purchase, or subscribe. So copywriting is certainly a text which has a function, and it is not a decor in itself. So underneath you've got this copy against this other copy from 2018. So which one would be better? Let's see. So this here says stories of an extraordinary world, whereas the from 2018 it says the award-winning magazine of ideas, lifestyle, and culture. So which tagline would fit best? Which tagline is actually better from the copywriter's view? Which would sell better? Which sounds better? I would say certainly this new one. And I'm going to read the reasoning and why the magazine went into some kind of a rebrand here, and then I'm going to show you some interesting visuals and some ads. So let's see. For example, before I dive in, this one copy from UBS. Do you see it right? So this one copy from UBS is they are actually a banking what kind of a company? Um, but they always have interesting visuals. The visuals maybe do not go together with the first mission of the bank or the first idea. Banks and interiors and people behind counters and money and all these visuals. This here, she could be an artist. She could be an artist weaving something, maybe. Um, so she produces, she makes things, and she will certainly need money to back her up. So I like UBS. I've got a few of these visuals stored in my portfolio file where I keep all these printed ads. So I always, when I see something great, when I buy the newspaper, I then just tear this part away and put it into my file where I store all these interesting ads. Uh, the text is always interesting. The text always begins with this headline. This is like a huge headline, and underneath you've got the body. Let's say the body copy, as it is called in the copywriters world. So the headline, body copy, and then with massive bold letters, you've got maybe the core of the message. And most often they start with a question: is my business in the right place? Is the question. So they always question something. Let's say, starting off with a question is the ideal way for me to enter any kind of debate, enter any kind of discussion, and even drive interest. So, new and emerging markets are becoming increasingly accessible to businesses. And this is like an explanation. That said, navigating them in a business is a business in itself. With 157 years experience and a presence in over 50 markets worldwide, we have the knowledge, network, and know-how to point you and your business in the right direction. Okay, this is the body copy is maybe not that interesting. It does have some information about the history of the undertaking of this business. So and the 157 years of experience, they speak for themselves. So speak for the continuity of doing business, and they also instill some trust. And underneath this here is the most prominent part, and then underneath this bold is also key. So make sure always to add at the end something that summarizes the main point, and then propels people to act. For some of life's questions, you are not alone, it says. Together we can find an answer. Together, this is the key word, UBS. And now let's move on to the editorial. This is the editor's letter. And here they will, of course, state what they meant by this rebranding. So we're talking about rebranding, what they meant by this rebranding. So it says, you've already have spotted that we've given 1843 a makeover. We've redrawn the logo. So they have redrawn the logo and made our pages bold, bright, and beautiful. So this is copywriting wise also an interesting tactic. 3 B's. So bold, bright, and beautiful. We've also introduced a wealth of new ideas and columnists. Our tagline, so a tagline is stories of an extraordinary world. We've always brought you some of the best long form and narrative journalism. So 1843 is a newspaper which excels or brings you the best long form and narrative journalism there is. So I'm very fond of long form texts. Long form. So alongside fantastic photography and illustrations. Now we're taking that storytelling approach to everything from style and design to culture, food and travel in this issue, and so blah 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 blah. And what is their mission? My hope is that your new 1843 will entertain and delight, and also tell you something so astonishing that you can't wait to share it. Did we succeed? Please let me know. And this is the editor. I think Rosie is the editor. Was maybe, I'm not sure if she is, because I haven't read recent 1843. I'm not subscribed to it, although I was subscribed. Although I was subscribed to the Economist in the early pandemic, 2020, 2021. I was subscribed to their magazine, although they didn't give away this supplement or this magazine. It wasn't included in their subscription. And then I moved on to digital subscription. And 1843, you can also read it on the internet. They've got some of the, best long form, as I said, long form and narrative journalism on the internet. And I've seen that there you can also subscribe to this magazine. 5 years ago, it was some 30 euros for 6 issues. So I wouldn't say that's a costly thing, and certainly recommend it to you all who are in this copywriting business. So, as I announced that today, I wanted to show you the newspapers. This is one of the newspapers that I like to read. I'm very fond of this newspaper because it visually is stunning. It really has nice typography, nice photography, but the copies or the ads inside are always of the same, belonging to the same branch, let's say. It's always housing, it's always apartments, hotels, travels, watches. A lot of watches here from Switzerland, and you can really learn a lot from the text, from the copy, which copywriters produced for watchmakers. So, for example, you've got, first begins with Harry Winston, then Audemars Piguet, or Piguet, I'm not good at French. So, for example, this is an ad. Let's say let's just go through these watch ads. One of the watch ads here, um, visually very attractive, and the text says it's maybe some kind of a quote. But if it were a quote, then it should have been under those signs. It isn't. And it says, to break the rules, you must first master them. So to break the rules, you must first master them. And then the name of the brand, a watch. These copies, the central feature, or what's the core of these copies, is first the ad, of course, the photography. They have to have great photographs of the objects they promote, and then maybe just short text, really short text, as you've seen here. To break the rules, you must first master this. So just a quote, or as in the case of Rolex, it's a more lengthier copy, certainly a lengthier copy with a story, and this one is more like a quote. Then, okay, let us go forward. As I said, watch. Again, another watch. This one, not sure if it's a Swiss. Yes, Swiss watch. Switzerland. Jacques Droz. I like it very much. This is just an A4. And you've got the central piece is the watch itself, and it's like a see-through mechanism. It has a see-through mechanism, And also barely any text. The text is just here. So this is the only text here. It says, some watches tell time. Some tell a story. So this is a quote and architectural interpretation of an icon, letting light filter through the heart of its mechanics. So the light filters through the mechanics of this watch. So one of the copies here, and maybe another watch. You see such copies almost every 5th page or 10th page is again an ad on a watch or watches. So how soon is now? Again another one. How soon is now? The only copy, and we can put a mark of equalizer. So equals copy equals the text, which should bring you, amaze you, which should bring you into a position to ask for it, look for it, search for it, and first find out the price, and if the price is okay, if you can afford it, or if not, then try to pay for it in installments. So text should interest you. How soon is now? So a short question and no explanation, no body copy, just this question could be enough. Or I'm actually a copywriter who likes to put more text to such things. So, and I sometimes like to explain. Some things are self-explanatory, but some things need explanation. So how soon is now? Okay, so this question leaves you an open door. Leaves you with an open door. You can surmise. You can come up with not an idea, an explanation of your own. Another, let's see another copy. If there is again another one. I mean, I like this magazine more for the visuals and for the quality of text than for the ads themselves. But I just wanted to show you the fountain or the source from which sometimes I extract some ideas. So for copywriters, it's important to surround yourself with enough material to go around and enough material to have beside you, and when the opportunity arises, when you have to sit down and create yourself, pull these out, let these texts pull you in, and just immerse yourself in these visuals. And sometimes, just thinking about these ads, or sometimes just looking at the text or the visuals, they may result in a new idea. Of course, new idea which draws from the old and brings it further. So it draws from the old and brings it further, or develops it further. But sometimes the new can give a hint or can give a signal or sign that it emanated from an old ad or old copy. It's nothing bad if that, it's not bad at all if that happens. But certainly the old should inspire to create something new. Okay. There is another one. There's another ad here on a watch, but I would like to show it because it has barely any text. It just has an actress. blah 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 blah. Again, no no no. I'm just looking at this one particular issue. Okay, so maybe stop. I'll stop here and maybe go from watches or watch from watches to apartments. For example, sometimes there are ads here which announce the opening or they announce the opportunity of these wealthy people to reserve to buy a loft apartment or a place to stay. They are not ready yet, but the company or these real estate agencies, they want to give it give this information out as soon as possible so that you can prepare yourself. So for example, this visual, I didn't know what this is. 1421 1421 Firenze, Florence, and I didn't know what it wanted to say. First, the numbers. Okay, 1421. It could be like 1843, the time flourishment when Florence was at its peak. Florence as a Renaissance town in Italy. I didn't know what it stood for. And where you have to look is the underneath. It always says the agent is these apartments are to be completed, were to be completed in autumn 2019. You can register. Um, you can check it out now if they are. I mean, they're ready. I mean, you can how they look like, how they. We don't have any idea how these apartments look. We just have the idea. We just have the actual picture of what it would feel like if you would to stand on the terrace of this apartment and looking just across ahead of you. You would see the world famous Duomo. As it says, the time has come to give history a future. Underneath it says, in the very heart of Florence, birthplace of the Renaissance, and in the shadow of the world famous Duomo, stands 1421 Firenze, a stunning revival of architectural masterpieces spanning 700 years. It is set to become a new destination that will house 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments, beautifully designed for modern living, but with a classical twist. So, and interesting again underneath, as it was in the ad that I've shown you on with UBS. They also have a black, like a boldened statement here underneath the finishing line. It says, a masterpiece born in the 14th century, reborn in the 21st. I like this ad because it doesn't look like an ad. It looks like a small essay, a historical essay maybe, with the picture of the Duomo, and also just behind. I'm not very well acquainted with the pieces here in Florence. I've never been to Florence. Here is another architectural masterpiece at the center of the square somewhere in Florence. I'm not sure how it's called. You would know if you've been there, if you travel to Italy. Certainly an ad which is pleasing, which looks great, and it's not that much stuffed with text. It still has a lot of room and a wonderful panoramic view of the historical center of Florence. Well, I think this would be it. I hope that you liked today's session, showing you the magazine, Stories of an Extraordinary World, which I'm going to dive in later on today, as I'm doing a translation, more or less, just to involve you into it. Translation, I mean, I'm not very fond of, but of course, sometimes you cannot choose. Sometimes you can't choose what you do. If I'm given a chance to maybe create, a campaign or slogan or text that I like very much, when it comes from a field that is near to me, that I've been doing a lot recently. Such things I crave. Such things I like to do very much. Well, translation is like you already have the text in front of you. You already have the original, and you must really stick to this original. You have to transpose and transfer its meaning onto into the target language, and the form must be the same. You cannot change anything. If it's a PDF or if it's a Word, it must be Word or PDF. So not enough room for maneuvering, not enough room to change anything, alter, modify anything, because it has to be strict, correct. The meaning really has to be as it is in the original, and it has to be correct, because if it's something onto which you fix your own seal or on your stamp, because this translation should be certified, it's a certified translation, you really ought to be even more careful when there are figures inside in this document, figures, amounts, technical measurements, and so on. So you've got to really be precise. And it's not like, when you are doing a copy, you're doing things like this is more freer, this is more liberal, or this is really more creative than translation. Of course, there are some issues of creativity in translation too, when you have to come up with a solution for a word. But this is certainly, copywriting is a lot of different kind of dimension, different kind of a world than it is translation. So hope that I've succeeded in bringing you close to this magazine. If you're interested, you can subscribe. I think I'm going to also think about subscribing to this mag, as at the moment I'm not getting any printed magazines apart from Standard magazine, a magazine which the editorial and the editors and its team are in Slovakia, I think, and they are printed in Berlin. The magazine is printed in Berlin, and I really like to read on coffee and coffee culture too. And they also got a section where they have nice photography. So this is the only printed magazine that I get each or every 4 months. So I may think about subscribing to 1843. One of the possible contenders for this subscription could be 1843. And before I say goodbye, if you'd like to subscribe to my Patreon channel, Patreon community, where I post each week at least 2 or 3 times. This time I think I paused. If you maybe looked up the Patreon page, this week I'm going to post some copywriting, some analysis on copywriting things, copywriting material, and I'm also going to add some insights on how I'm doing on Pinterest and YouTube Shorts. So these things are to come. So if you'd like to subscribe, here is the link. The link is, here is the link. So you can subscribe here for a minimum €4 a month. You can cancel anytime. And then we can be even more connected, and I can help you. You've also got some 30 minutes of consultations with me free on this channel, and you'll also be getting materials on SEO, copywriting, and how I'm doing on other channels like Pinterest, Medium, and YouTube Shorts. These three things are some marketing channels that I also apply and I'm also active on. So you can learn together with me and benefit certainly from these materials. Have a nice Friday.